And we have breaking news out of BC this morning. Burnaby RCMP have moved in on Camp Cloud, arresting anti-Kinder Morgan protesters. Police have declared the area an exclusion zone and are even threatening media with arrest for being in that area. The BC Supreme Court issued an injunction last Friday. It ordered demonstrators to dismantle the site and move out within 48 hours. That deadline has passed with no movement. This is where we bring in Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR to continue the conversation. No doubt this will be a big talker on your show this morning, Danielle.
Well, and I'm glad that they moved in. I had Corey Morgan on yesterday. He had started a Facebook group that was prepared to go in and clean up Camp Cloud if the authorities weren't willing to step in. They had already identified August 25th as the date. They were making plans for what they would do. And so it was going to come to a head one way or the other. And I'm glad that the authorities stepped in and are the ones to clear it out. No, I mean, I understand as well. All of us want to see video of the structures being taken down. But the authorities, they have a pretty clear direction from the court. It's an injunction that says no one's allowed to be past this point. The protesters were arrested at just after 5 a.m. this morning, and it was dozens of officers there. They've now made way for the municipal building crews or demolition crews to come in and tear it down. And I guess the next step, we'll see what happens now. There were also yesterday 7 of the protesters, repeated protesters who'd already been found guilty of criminal contempt, went back to court because they violated it again and have been sent to jail for 7 days. So I don't think that this is over yet, but certainly Camp Cloud is no longer going to be the gathering point for them to stage their activism. But we'll all have to watch and see what the next steps are.
Big win for Kinder Morgan, or can we just expect some other protests elsewhere?
Big win for Canada. I mean, this is the thing about Canadians, is that we don't mind protests. We want people to get out there. We want them to state their viewpoints. We want them to go through the process. But when they lose and the authorities say, okay, now it's time to pack up and move on, we expect people to follow the law as well. So there is a way that you can push your activism to the limit of the law, but when you break the law, I don't think they get much sympathy. You even have, I mean, let's think through who is enforcing this. It's the town of Burnaby, and the Burnaby mayor has been one of the most outspoken opposed to this pipeline. The residents initially welcomed the community or the activists into Camp Cloud, and they were saying that they were creating a hazard in the neighborhood. So I think that this is just it, that you've got the protesters who've now pushed it a step too far. I think the tide has turned. People recognize that this pipeline is going to be built, and they're going to have to find another way to get their message out.
Thanks for this, Danielle.
My pleasure.